going to talk about the lack of regulations on dog training, how there is no set standards, and how anyone, anywhere, can call themselves a trainer without any skills, any education, or any, when I say skills, real skills. We're going to go ahead and talk about a paper here, a document written from the American College of Veterinarian Behavioralists that it's basically a call to change the law, and the laws are very lax when it comes to animals. Again, my dog Chloe is in my lap, so if you see me petting, I'm petting my dog Chloe. All right. So the American College of Veterinary Behavioralists is dedicated to acting as a catalyst to create and maintain an inclusive community of science-based experts in veterinary behavioral medicine and act as leaders in American animal welfare and preservation of human-animal bond and to benefit people and their pets. The animal-human bond, my God, that is very important. That's probably the most important part of training, to be 100% honest. It's not even teaching your dog tricks or skills or obedience or any of that bullshit. It's more about how do you guys work together? How do you communicate? Do you know what your dog is? Do you understand what your dog's communicating to you when they are barking? When they're whining? When they go stand by the door? Do they want to go outside or they just want to go outside? You know? And it doesn't... There are people who are a little bit more natural at training, kind of like I was. I was raised around animals in general, but my mom taught us basic animal behavior, basic dog behavior, and what to do if we ever saw it. So we were taught not to abuse or hurt animals. And that was also mentally, like intimidation. We weren't allowed to do that. My mom told me and my brother and my sister that if we ignored a dog when they growled at us or showed our teeth and we got bit, we just got fucking bit. Because she's already explained to us why not to do it, and that it is nasty to injure or cause a dog to be fearful of you. So I'm kind of the same way. I don't feel bad when people get bit, and I've already told them 20 times not to do that to their dog, you know? I don't feel bad. I'm like, it was justified. But unfortunately, if the dog, especially if the dog has a bite count already, it could be detrimental to the dog, even though the dog didn't initiate it, and they were just usually defending themselves, or they had no other outlet. You would just continue to ignore them, so they kind of have no choice but to fight. Usually what I'll see is a dog will first try to fly. They'll try to leave. They'll get away from you. If that doesn't work, and I'm talking about trainers, I've seen this with my own goddamn eyes. After they try to get away, and that's unsuccessful because the asshole keeps moving forward and towards them and backs them up against either a wall, furniture, whatever the case may be. Now the dog has nowhere to go, so now it's freezing a lot of times. And they may even go to the fawn or fidget stage where they will lick the person, expose their belly in an appeasement position, trying to let them know that I'm not a threat and I want this to fucking end as soon as possible, right? And then when all else fails, they go in for the bite. Dogs don't usually go for the bite first. Now, in some cases, and this is cases, you have to know what you're looking at, and you have to know how to get the answers you need from these people, because they will omit it because they know they're guilty of this. Punishing your dog when your dog communicates. Please stop doing that. Please stop doing that. That will get from no behavior whatsoever, they're just laying there, to a fucking bite like that. because you have conditioned your dog not to communicate when they don't like something or they want you to stop or they're feeling stressed. So it may not be you directly. It could be a child. It could be a friend. It could be another dog. If their personal space has been invaded by something they don't understand, they don't feel comfortable with, they're confused by, or is just too overstimulating like children can be, that can cause the dog to start showing stress signs. And part of these stress signs is growling, showing of teeth, piloerection where the hair stands on the back of the neck, sometimes all the way to the bum. And we'll go again, we'll go over eventually every single sign that I am aware of. Okay? And it's not just one. It's usually in kind of like a collection of one. Usually they show more than one side, definitely. So stop just looking at the tail or the ears or the mouth. You need to look at everything. The eyeballs, the brow area, the overall body positioning. Very important. Very important. So don't punish your dog when they're trying to communicate. Listen to what they're saying. That's part of that animal, the human-animal bond that people keep fucking forgetting about and trying to bypass. If you don't want to have a bond with your animal, don't have a fucking animal. Like, I don't understand what's the point. Like, what's the point? They are the best things on the fucking planet, dogs are. Why are we trying to ignore them or trying to make them into some goddamn robot? Stop. Stop. Fuck. Central to this mission is our acknowledgement of the crucial role played by the animal training community. The ACVB recognizes that trainers are vitally important in improving pet welfare and strengthening the human-animal bond. Our endorsement of current evidence-based humane animal training techniques that do not cause pain, discomfort, fear, or anxiety is rooted in a firm commitment to the science and welfare of animal learning. That is another reason why I'm doing this, is because I feel like not everyone is willing to learn anymore. Like, it's not cool anymore. It's not fun anymore. It's not necessary anymore. And it could be all of those things, actually. But it just seems like, again, they want, some people, not everybody, but some people just want an easy fix. They want to use these collars. That's why these collars are still in business, is because people buy them. Obviously, people buy them, so there is still a demand for them, unfortunately. So, in training at least, the science-based positive reinforcement training, and positive reinforcement is a term that we came up with to give you an idea of what it is. Now, positive reinforcement training, along with negative reinforcement training, isn't about a high or a low. It's about adding and subtracting. So positive, it would be adding something to reinforce the behavior, and obviously negative reinforcement training would be taking something away. And I don't do that. I do positive reinforcement training and I use negative punishment if necessary, but most of the time you don't have to punish a dog because those motherfuckers are people pleasers. I don't get it. I don't really like it. Honestly, I think they should be a little bit more independent, like cats, but it's fine. It's fine. I don't get it, but most of the time you don't have to do that. You don't have to intimidate your dog. You don't have to scare your dog into doing things. You don't have to physically force your dog to do things. Even the crazy ones that you don't understand. You don't have to do that. You can manage the situation first until you get a professional on board that can help you with the training. Management looks something like keeping your dog separated from the rest of the family if the rest of your family is afraid of your dog. Taking the dog back to the shelter the next day after you get them, or the same day, some cases, it's not a solution. You may think it's a solution for you, and it may work for you, but it's fucked up for the dog because the dog just came. We'll talk about that another day about adoption because it's a whole nother fucking video. So we're going to go ahead and just try to stay on point here. However, the pet owner facing animal, so again, I'm going to say pet parent facing animal training professional remains largely unregulated. Again, you can just get out of bed and go fucking up some dogs today. No experience necessary. No education necessary. Apparently, a lot of these motherfuckers don't even have to look nice. They wear, I don't know, their pajamas. I don't know. I'll have to show you what I'm talking about, because I don't know this motherfucker. But he's special, let me tell you. This lack of regulation, absent licensing, mandatory education, or certification requirements poses severe risk. Untrained or improperly trained professionals can misapply techniques through a lack of understanding of learning theory or application of and that's what we're talking about, aversive techniques that can inflict lasting physical and emotional damage on pets. Such practices not only harm animals, but also erode the cherished human-animal bond and undermine public trust in training profession. And that is true. I've had people come to me that went to a negative reinforcement trainer or a balance trainer that will use these balance trainers. You got to really watch out for them, because they use positive reinforcement training to teach, but they also do physical punishment. And I don't do physical punishment. Like I said, I rarely even have to take away my attention. I mean, these motherfuckers want to please you. They want you to get excited and praise them and give them, attention. They are craving it. All you have to do is figure out what drives them the most if you want something from them, like obedience or some shit, right? And I'm all for obedience when it comes to safety. Other than that, no. I'm pretty fucking laid back, I guess. I don't know. But it's very important, because I've had people come to me that went to these people and their dog became worse. And they didn't like it, obviously. And so they stopped going to that trainer, and then they come to me, and then I'm making all this goddamn progress from the jump, because I'm observing, I'm listening, I'm doing what is necessary before I even, it's amazing, because I've seen shows, and yes, I'm going to do reaction videos, because it's important to point out the body language. It's important to point out the bad training and the bad advice, and it's beyond bad. It's horrifying, because I want to give you guys tools that's real, not made up, not fictional, not, superstitious shit, It wasn't real. It's not real. And I'll even go over Dr. David Meach's actual information, his research. He has a lot on his website. Paper after paper after paper that he's published, and with biologists and all scientists, it's peer reviewed. So people have to agree, disagree, they can say, this is bullshit or whatever, and that gives you a better idea of if it's a reliable source or not, right? So he has that on his website. Now, the book that he did publish back in I think it's called The Wolf, back in the 60s or 70s, I can't remember. He has written more, like in 1998, I think, and then even a little bit more recent since then. He's gone back and again gone through and explained his research, because a lot of people got it wrong, and I agree with him. I don't understand where it went wrong, but I guess some people read. This is what I think happened. If you've ever watched Joe Rogan, I don't really watch him, but I did see a clip of him with Bernie Sanders, because I'm a Bernie Sanders fan. And Joe Rogan brought up a article, but he didn't bother to read the article. He just read the headline, and he thought he knew what the article said, and he did not. And unfortunately, Bernie didn't read the article either, so he didn't know what was said in the article. He just had to take Joe's word on it, and Joe didn't know what the fuck he was talking about, as usual. And that's what happened. Misinformation right there. if you go back and read the fucking article again, I can't remember what it was talking about. It's probably something about healthcare. I don't remember specifically, but you know, because that's one of Bernie Sanders' big talking points is healthcare and how it's not health or care in the United States. So I think that's maybe what happened is these people just saw certain titles or read like a sentence here or there and then like ran with it, like just used it to their benefit, even though they didn't understand what the science was actually saying. But you know, it happens quite a bit now. Like I said, it happens a lot, and people just get away with it, and they don't want to be fact checked, and that's fucking hilarious. Fucking hilarious. Please fact check me. I don't want to be walking around sounding like a goddamn fool. Okay? Shit. In light of these concerns, the ACVB strongly advocates for the regulation of the animal training industry. We propose industry standards that include 1. Education and certification. Amen. Implementing mandatory education requirements and a certification process for all animal training professionals. Perfect. 2. Commitment to science-based techniques. Absolutely. Ensuring that all training methods are rooted in scientifically validated, humane, that's another thing, humane approaches, emphasizing the use of positive reinforcement and ensuring the well-being of the animal. It doesn't matter what's going on. Once I start to see the dog stressed out, we stop. And I de-escalate the situation. I do not do my damnedest to make it worse. Like some of these motherfuckers, I don't get it. Well, actually, I do get it. I'm reading it to you. That's how they have a job. 3. Consumer protection and public safety. Establishing regulations to protect pet parents and the general public from unqualified animal training professionals, thereby enhancing overall public safety. Going back to what I was saying, where I have had to help pet parents and dogs after they've gone to the shitty trainers, that, in some cases, is all the pet parent will do. Once that fails, for whatever reason, they won't go looking for other trainers because they don't know that there's different ones out there, that they're not all shit, right? They don't know that. So they may stop and give their dog away or take them back to the shelter or just dump them off somewhere. And in some cases, unfortunately, they will just let their dog just decay. They'll stop feeding them, stop taking care of them. And it's not just for the training issues. Some people are just pieces of shit. Some people are just absolute fucking trash. Okay. The benefits of such regulation are many. Safeguarding consumer rights, ensuring professional responsibility, and most importantly, improving the lives of pets and their people. Yes. Both parties, right? I prefer everybody to be happy. But, you know, when it comes to some people, they're not concerned about the pet. They don't care if the pet's happy or not. They just want the pet to do what they want. And I'm like, why do you have a fucking pet then? I don't get it. But I think it's a control thing. But I'm not sure. That is something that I want to dig more deeper in later. Is to find out why some people are just trash, right? I don't know. It's disturbing because I have BPD and bipolar 2. So I'm the type of person that I benefit completely from having a pet, but it's not just about what I'm getting, it's what am I giving, you know? I adopt dogs because I want to save their lives, but you never expect them to save yours, but they do every day. They have mastered unconditional love. The last thing I'm going to do is be fucked up to them and mean to them and inhumane to them because I have a problem with my life, you know? I have a problem with who I am. Having them, not even training them or anything, just having them has made me a better person. It's made me get out of bed. Literally. If I didn't have them, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. Probably wouldn't be. But okay. By setting and upholding these standards, we can ensure that the animal training profession is both ethical and effective. And those two things are possible. So don't give up if you haven't found the right trainer. There are a couple of websites you can go to find a trainer in your area. You can go to the positively.com. That's run by Victoria Stilwell. You can also go to the, what is it called? Dog Training Academy. They'll help you find a trainer in your location as well. They do positive reinforcement training, so they're pretty strict on what kind of shenanigans they put up with, right? We urge all stakeholders, from pet owners to policymakers, exactly, to join us in advocating for these essential regulations. Together we can create a future where animal training is not only about obedience, but about nurturing a safe, respectful, and loving bond between animals and their human companions. Animal companions. God damn, it's getting late. And here's a list of all the people that wrote this, I guess. So, it's very important to consider why you want a pet in the first place before you get one. When shopping for a dog, you can go to the same website and download or just look at the information they provide on how to find a dog trainer. A veterinary behavioralist is essentially a veterinarian that's also trained in behavior. It's pretty fucking easy there, right? Oh, I love you so much. What was I saying? Okay, so it's very important to know why you want a pet. Are you capable of taking care of a pet? Just the basic needs to start with, but it is more to it than that. There's more to that when it comes to human children as well. And you're probably getting hints that I despise people. I do. But let me explain that. I would be talking about a number of things, not just dog training, but it all does go back to why I am a trainer. That's why it's relevant for you to know a little bit of my past and to know that I struggle with borderline personality disorder and bipolar 2 and anxiety, because that will give you a lot more information that, yes, I suffer from these and I still can be humane to my fucking pets. Do I lose my shit sometimes and curse at them? Sure. Then I apologize immediately and I check my fucking behavior, because they are not the source of my frustration. And I know that. And they don't deserve me to displace my feelings onto them. No animal does. No child does, by the way, either. So, that is, in a nutshell, why it's very important to shop for the right pet trainer, dog trainer. There are pet trainers out there that do cats. I'm learning more cat behavior as well, and it's really fun. Oh man, one day I'll have a cat. I used to have cats, but they were mostly outdoor cats. But anyways, just thought I'd let you guys know what's going on in the United States, and you need to be careful about who you choose to work with. Your most prized fucking I'm not going to call them possession, even though that's what the law considers them, but your most beloved best friend. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful.